persistent, lots of energy. Stick around, guys. I kind of need the F1 music. Can you cue that again? That would give me some energy here. I'm Conrad Smith. I work at Graphite. We have an amazing team of people. I always like to say we're built by procurement for procurement. We have over 40 years of procurement experience in our core founding team, and we hire procurement people every time we can. It's important to understand the problem. I wish I could introduce you to all of these folks. They're awesome, but you can find them on LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn. In fact, I wish you would, click up here, send me an invitation, let's get connected. When you look at my LinkedIn, you'll be able to see right away who I am, what I've done. It's a little bit superficial, right? Where I went to school, where I worked, a little bit about my strengths and my experience. But that's not how it worked back in the... There's a few old people out here, right? So I'm not the only one. Back in the 90s, when I went to get a job, I went to the paper guys, and I got a really nice paper, and I printed a resume, and I folded it, and I licked it, and I stamped it, I mailed it to 20 companies, and then I just prayed that they got it, and that they might give me some feedback. That's how it was to go get a job. It was crazy. Just think about the transformation that has taken place in this particular space, right? The network has changed it radically. Instead of sending 20 letters, everyone in this room, if you're in LinkedIn, are included in tens of millions of searches all the time for people that are looking for people just like us, right? It's a radical transformation on how things have happened. LinkedIn's network has made this happen. It's transformed professional connections, and it's transformed recruiting, it's really helped sales. But think about supplier onboarding, right? We're still doing supplier onboarding like we did back in the 90s. In the 90s, we onboarded suppliers in 1 to 2 days. If I could sell supplier onboarding today that worked consistently in 1 to 2 days, it would be game over. Anyone would go for 1 to 2 days right now because it's just become much more complicated. The basic procurement process takes about the same amount of time, start to finish, but there's this giant mess right in the middle called onboarding. Well, it's actually in the beginning. What governments have done with regulation, which they should do. I'm all for all the ethical sourcing and all the other things that we need to do. It's fantastic. But it's taken what was once a really simple process and it's made it extremely complicated. We can't now act the way we did before and expect any better results. So it's actually taking what was a fast process or a standard procurement process and it's slowing it down. Think about what's happening. The rest of the world is going faster. The business adoption cycles are going faster, and what's purchasing doing? We're slowing down. If you want to know why your stakeholders are frustrated with you, it's not because you don't have the latest web user interface, fancy AI. It's because we're not getting business out the door fast enough. They know what it takes to win, right? And we're not always showing up with the solution. We really need to do it differently. We talked to hundreds of companies and found a very consistent message about why onboarding doesn't work. It's too slow. It's too complicated. It's complicated for suppliers. It's complicated for the internal teams. There's data problems. There's rampant fraud happening everywhere. Almost every company I talk to is worried about someone stealing their supplier's bank data and stealing the payment. These are big deals. So we architected Graphite to specifically address these problems that everybody's having. We have a much better user interface. We have a network design. This many-to-many network design, I'll talk a little bit more about it, makes a huge difference. We have integration, automation, and best-in-class security. This creates a golden record. Inside the golden record, we help you collect and manage your own team's information, your supplier's information, and third-party information, and put it all together into one profile for the supplier. No more swivel chairs. You get a 360-degree view of the supplier, and you can manage all of the risk. This makes all the difference in terms of how the business works. We've added robust risk and due diligence, a modern and intuitive user experience. We have local language throughout. You got to think about this like Salesforce bolted onto the network. We've made, so why does this business work? Because we're really growing. We found great results. The future's bright, the network's growing, the revenue's growing, and our customers are actually demonstrating that's true by signing up and managing their suppliers and onboarding inside of Graphite. Thank you.
Great job. So it's all about Formula One, speed.
Speed,
Absolutely.
It really is.
And it is about speeding that onboarding process, right?
And talking really fast.
Yes. All right, so jury, Nicholas.
Great pitch. You got me hyped. Anyway, great energy.
Thank you.
Fantastic product. Seems to tick a lot of boxes. Reducing effort, increasing compliance, so on and so forth. Who do you actually sell it to? Because you can benefit both the customer and the suppliers, it seems, from the solution. So who are you targeting?
Generally, our customer is in purchasing. In large organizations, it's the center of excellence or the operations lead, sometimes accounts payable. We generally sell into purchasing. We have a few customers that use it only for risk management, but I don't think that's the ideal implementation for the product.
Have you thought about making the suppliers contribute as well?
We have. Are you an investor?
No, I'm not.
No? It's funny, when I talk to investors, they immediately go to that place, well, oh my, this is so good for the suppliers, they're gonna love it. They do love it. When we change the world like this and we're all working on these profiles, it will be easier for the suppliers. When it's easier for the suppliers, it's easier for us. We get better data, right? But the problem is, if we tax them, and there have been companies that have done that, I won't say who they are, but it's created a difficult thing. We can't just stick it to the supplier. We need to help make it easy for them. That's going to motivate them to participate. Their participation is better than revenue in terms of helping us all as a community.
Conrad, great pitch. Now, having met you here and seeing your energy, I'm wondering, what is your next use case? Having this beautiful golden records of the suppliers, any plans to make even more use out of them than onboarding?
So the product is bigger than onboarding. 3 or 4 years ago when we came to market, we talked about holistic supplier management. It isn't like this one little thing that happens in the beginning of the process. It's end-to-end supplier management. They onboard, data changes, you do risk reviews. Eventually you might not, maybe quarterly business reviews, contracts, all of those things fit into this very nicely, and then at a certain point you offboard them, hopefully with control, right? So it's an end-to-end process that needs to be holistic. Within purchasing, that's how we think about it. We're all purchasing folks, but I'll tell you, on the other side of the business, it's equally a big problem. Customer data management is as important as supplier data management. So there's sort of phases and a progression of the business that creates, if I was with investors, I would talk a lot differently about this, but a huge opportunity for us to transform how B2B works. We're starting with purchasing because, frankly, in this space, this is one of the few times in the enterprise procurement people have power. You're my supplier, you want to get paid, you need to join the network. You can't do that with customers, right? So the suppliers will pull in. You take these customers up here like Paramount or Intel or XPO, they have hundreds of thousands of suppliers, and they can just say, you want to get paid, you join the network. Every time that happens, it benefits everyone in the community.
And we are out of time and right on time. So let's say thank you to Conrad.
Thank you.